Okay, so I think my voice is working now. But so I was gonna film this earlier, and I was all ready to go, and then my computer was like, "Hey, it's National Pizza Day," so then I got pizza, and now the sun's going down, and now my voice keeps doing this because I just ate pizza. So we love that. So we're gonna try our best, okay? Okay, so this is kind of going to be a TBR type video, but it's going to be mostly books from the readathon that I am participating in. I am participating in Blackathon for Black History Month in February. So if you haven't heard of Blackathon, Bowties and Books created it. I will have their channel and the video linked in the description of this video, so feel free to go check that out and maybe participate in the challenge too. The readathon too, and then also I do read books by Black authors with Black characters all throughout the year. I'm just really focusing on it this month with the readathon, so I just want to clear that up. I don't only read these books during right now. I'm going to be participating in the Team Oshun prompt section of the readathon. There are 3 prompts, and the one that I'm participating in is Team Oshun. And if you don't know who Oshun is, I didn't know either, so I took it upon myself to YouTube it and find a video that I could watch. And I will also link that down below so you guys know who Oshun is as well. If you are interested in that, it is down in my description box there. Okay, so we're going to first start with the books that I have already started reading. These I actually started reading in January, and then they carried over to this month. So the first one that I am reading right now is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. There's the book, and I am about 74% of the way through it as of right now. So hopefully I will finish that by the end of the month. It's an audiobook. It's actually really good. I don't really know much about politics or anything like that. And he really explains it so well. And now I have such a better understanding of politics and how that works. And I highly recommend the book so far. The other book that I am currently reading in February is Queenie by Candace Carty Williams, right there. And I'm 43% of the way through that, and essentially what that book is about is this woman, she is dating this white man, and she doesn't they fight a lot, and his family is not the greatest. Some of the things he does is not the greatest, and he decides that they're going to go on a 3-month break, and the story is kind of following her, Queenie, and her how she copes with being on a break with Tom, which is her boyfriend, and just navigating that. So yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty good read so far, but we'll see where it ends up going. Okay, so then the last book I'm reading this month that is not part of Blackathon is You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes. I don't know, I think a lot of people have heard of this by now. If you have not heard of the books, you've definitely heard of the TV series, You, that is on Netflix. So this is the 3rd book in it, because the 4th season is just dropped, I think yesterday, or it just dropped today. And my whole mode of operating has been that I have been reading. So, for example, season 4 just dropped. This is book 3. I'm reading book 3, and I'm not allowed to watch season 4 until after I've read book 3, which is shaping up quite nicely instead of doing it the traditional way of reading the book before you watch the series or movie, because the book 4 isn't dropping until after season 4 has already dropped. Okay, it's editing Stephanie again, although this is going to be the first editing Stephanie you see of a total of 2. Hopefully that's where it stops, because I learned something new as I was in the process of uploading this video, where I learned about the union strike going on at HarperCollins, and they are asking us booktubers and book Instagrammers and all that to stop posting reviews of HarperCollins books. We can continue to read them, but we cannot post about it. So I am going to be reworking, so I'm not going to be able to tell you 2 of the books that I am reading. I know it just says review, but I feel like if I even just say that I'm reading it, that's enough to be a problem. So I'm just going to say that there are going to be 2 mystery books on my Blackathon list, and then I will try my best with that, but if it doesn't get resolved by the end of February, then you just won't know what those 2 books are. But they do exist. And I will at least like show them on the screen, but like hide the cover, and kind of try to give some type of something so you can see, so you know that I'm reading a book, whether or not I enjoyed it and all that stuff, without supporting HarperCollins until after they have done what they need to do for until they have met the demands that the union strike is asking for. So yeah, sorry about this. So the first book, I think this is going to be the first book that I talked about. Yes, it's the first book that I talked about for the prompt number 1, a book with an enemies to lovers romance or hate to love romance type of deal. And the book that I am doing for that is redacted, but I'm reading this book. I haven't read that much. I have not read the summary for it or anything like that. I'm kind of going in blind. So far it seems I've already started reading it a little bit, and it seems like it's going to be a really, really great read. I'm super excited. I love the fantasy genre, so yeah, there's that. Okay, and the second redacted book is for the prompt of a book with a yellow cover. And all I'm going to say about that book is the original had like a whole summary, but here we are. So instead, all I'm going to say is guy meets girl, girl dies, stuff ensues. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And it looks like it's going to be a really good read. Now I guess hopefully I'll be able to be able to tell you guys what the books are and give you a proper review at the end of February, but if not, I'll probably give you something similar to what I'm doing now, except more my thoughts on the book without telling you what the book is. So that way you get some type of closure with it without breaking the solidarity with the union workers on strike. So I guess now back into the regularly scheduled programming. Okay, we are quickly losing light now, but the next prompt is a book with strong aquatic themes or water magic, and the book I chose for that is The Deep by River Solomon with David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes. It's actually a pretty short book, which is definitely good because I have a lot of books to read this month. But this book was inspired by a song that the Clippings, a band, wrote, and those are the with. David Diggs, William Hudson, Jonathan Snipes wrote a song that inspired this book, and then I'm guessing River Solomon partnered with them to create this book. And this book is essentially about this. They're called Wajinru. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. By the end of this month, I will know how to pronounce that properly because I will Google it. I should have Googled it before this video, but now here we are. So it's the Wajinru. They are mermaids. They live in the water. I don't think they'd technically be considered mermaids. I think they would literally just be considered Wajinru. So Wajinru, they live in the water, and their ancestors essentially were slaves that were thrown overboard for being pregnant, and which is actually kind of a thing that has happened in history. I couldn't find anything online about specifically pregnant slaves being thrown over, but there were definitely some sick slaves that they threw overboard because insurance covered slave drownings. So they'd like be reimbursed or whatever for slave drownings, but they wouldn't be reimbursed if the slave either died from sickness or was just too sick to recover. That wasn't a thing. So instead they would throw them overboard, which is absolutely heinous. The more you learn about history, the worse it gets, honestly. But essentially with this book, there's one person, I'm assuming like every generation or something, that knows all of the traumas that their ancestors went through, like it's just stored in their head. And the main character, she goes up to the surface to try to get away from that, and it becomes a thing where essentially Yetsu, I'm going to just quote the thing at this point. Yetsu will learn more than she ever expected to about her own past and about the future of her people. If they are all to survive, they'll need to reclaim the memories, reclaim their identities, and own who they really are. So I think it's going to be a really powerful and informative read. Okay, and then the fourth and final prompt is a book that is kinky, smutty, or sex positive, and I decided to choose Luster by Raven Lalani. It's probably pronounced Leilani, sorry, by Raven Leilani, and I actually had this on my TBR for a while. I don't really know that much about it going into it, but I do know that it is definitely a very sex positive read, so I'm very interested to see where this goes. I haven't read the summary yet, and this is one of those books that I feel like might be great to read without knowing what's going on to go in, so that's kind of where we're at with that. The bonus group team read for Team Oshun is Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. I think I read the summary once, so I'm going to try my best to paraphrase it to you guys now. So essentially, the woman, she is a reality star, a disgraced reality star, and she ends up working at this guy's bakery. And I don't know their names, I'm sorry. I read it like once yesterday, and I was like, okay, this sounds like it'll be fun. But yeah, so she's working at his bakery, and they don't, and she's disgraced. His business is struggling. So I think they end up coming together and like saving each other. His business ends up being saved, her reputation ends up being saved, and that's kind of what's going to happen in this book, essentially, from what I'm gathering from the summary, and I think it'll be a really fun read. Editing Stephanie here, who looks exactly the same as the Stephanie you were just watching in that video. But anyway, so I said that I was only going to read 8 books this month, but I'm actually going to read 9. I totally forgot about the book that I am reading with my best friend. We are reading Empire of Pain. I'm not sure who it's by. I could totally Google it, but I'm not going to. But it's called Empire of Pain. It deals with how the empire of opioids and that was created and all that. So we are reading that. I don't know if we're going to finish it this month. We're supposed to have 125 pages done by this Tuesday. So, and it's like a 425 page book, so we may just barely finish it by the end of February, or it's going to be early March, but we will see. So that's all the videos that I'm going, so that's all the books that I'm going to be reading this month in February. Leave a comment down below of what books you are reading this month, and are you participating in Blackathon? If so, let me know what team you're on and what books you are reading.